up a child in the way he should go. And now when he's of age, he will not depart from it. So it means that is the work of the family,
from the family,
where the child is growing up in. That is where the child needs to get these values. So that by the time I was going to class 1, I knew I'm born again. I'm not supposed to abuse people. So when I went to school, people were abusing each other. Praise the Lord, guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here again with my sister, my fellow woman of faith. Her name is Olga. You have seen her several times on my channel, and most of you have loved her because all the videos we've done with her have the highest number of viewers, meaning you love the content that we do together. So she's back again, and today we are going to talk about a lot of things. We still have not decided about the topic, but the Holy Spirit will help us as we continue along the way. So recently in Kenya, we've had this after the coronavirus, we had to make some changes, and many students in school had to leave school and go back home. And so one of the rising issues is the high number of teenagers who are pregnant at home. So we are here today to talk about everything surrounding it. And before we start, I think Olga, greet people.
So hi guys, so happy to be here.
So Olga, we when we had this story of teenagers, many are so pregnant, and I think it's not in Kenya only. It is just that Kenya has brought this up in the in the news. But I think it is happening in all countries now that many children are at home. I think that this world is just the same everywhere. So as much as we have many teenagers who are pregnant in Kenya, we must be having teenagers pregnant because they're at home. They've been here for such a long time, and people have blamed, like everybody has blamed whoever they think is responsible. But what saddened me is that everybody is pointing a finger at the teenagers. Everybody think that teenagers, or the youths of these days, have become bad people. They are not like the youths. They're trying to compare the youths of today and the youths of yesterday. And they think that they've become different. They've become so bad and rude, and they're just wicked. People feel they're wicked and evil. So what do you think? Are they wicked? Are they evil? Is there anyone to blame for this?
Somebody definitely will have to take the blame, but I do also feel like the blame game does not really help. But in my opinion, I want to believe that the world that we are living in today is so much advanced, and like the world that we lived in a few years ago. Things are not the same. There's a lot of technological advancement. So many things have changed. In my opinion, I feel like as much as everybody can be blamed here and there, the teachers, society as a whole, I feel like a huge chunk of the blame maybe will stop with the parents. The buck stops with them, the home, that fabric. That is where this child will know that this is right, this is good. So that by the time you're processing them for the outside world, beyond the family, their values that have already been inculcated from this small unit, which is the family. But then again, on the other hand, if this child is coming from a broken family, I don't know, it's a bit tricky, but I do feel like a huge part of this should come from the family. If the father, or it's a family that maybe is broken, there could be an uncle somewhere, there could be an aunt, a neighbor who probably is there at that point. In Africa we live like as a society,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That may have changed over the years a bit,
Yeah.
but growing up,
Yeah.
your neighbor,
Yeah.
that was like your mother.
Yeah.
If you're found making a mistake,
Yeah.
anybody had the powers to cane you whether they knew you or not.
Yeah.
But right now, that may be a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
Mm-hmm.
The family can do something.
Mhm.
If the family is not there,
Mhm.
whoever is there next
Yeah.
can always come in and help.
Yeah.
That would be your next of kin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing you didn't touch on is the fact that, you know, nowadays people have been so insecure with their children. You find that the parent does not allow the teacher to cane their child. Does not even allow the neighbor,
Yeah.
you know, to correct their child like it was, you know, in the past.
Years ago.
So as much as you're saying the uncle is available, the auntie who has morals is available, whether the mother and the father have been fighting, they have been separating and divorcing, and there's a lot of drama in the home, and the child cannot get, you know, what they want from the home, the values they need from their family.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying the uncle is available, the auntie is available, but you know, parents have become so, you know, insecure with their children. They don't want anybody to, you know, to talk, you know, if a parent finds a neighbor, you know, advising the child, it becomes, you know, something else. So as much as there are mentors outside the family, I think what we can say is, we talk to the teenager, we talk to the youth outside there. We talk to those people who are saying, you know, nowadays people say, you know what, I didn't have morals because I grew up in a dysfunctional family. But I think that can't be an excuse you ride on. It can't help you. The excuses will just, you know, build and become, you know, something else. So I think as a child, as a teenager, as a youth, find a mentor. If you can't get it from your mother or your father, if you can't get those values, open up, speak up, speak to your uncle who you feel can give you directions, speak to your auntie who you feel can give you directions. You don't have to speak to your mother if he's not available. If your father is not available, you know, just let them be. If you find an opportunity, even with the maid who has values, whoever, you know, make parent out of anybody who is available.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I feel like the key thing that again is lacking is mentorship, as you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what is largely lacking.
Yeah.
If the youth could get people that they can talk to, then we would see a lesser number in these cases that we are seeing, indiscipline, teenage pregnancies, and all that. Yeah.
But also, you see, people have been blaming this on coronavirus. The fact that, you know, these teenagers, the high number of pregnancies among them is because they've been at home. So do you think the teachers, you know, are the only mentors that we have today? Do you think, as much as people are trying to glorify the fact that, you know, teachers have kept them in school and they were never pregnant, when they came back to the parents, they became pregnant, do you think the teachers are the mentors that we have right now? Do you think, like, you can say that the only people who now that there's dysfunctional families, now the teacher, all the responsibilities has been left on the hands of the teacher? Is the teacher, you know, good enough to be a mentor? Or do you think teachers are really mentors, like the way people think?
Yeah, I think teachers are. They are mentors to a big extent. But it should not be limited to them, because again, as I said, as you are just saying, you know, it ought to start from somewhere before it comes to the teacher.
Yeah.
Because as you are saying, some parents are so protective of their children. Yeah. I look back, you know, in this teaching, education sector and all that. To a huge extent, even those teachers, their powers, I don't know, I feel like over the years are kind of limited. Yeah. Like, you know, before there were so many, corporal punishment. Yeah. Which I don't know, was it a good or a bad thing? We grew up with it, and I think it did help us. Yeah. And during our time, there were very few cases of a lot of student unrest and all that. Yeah. Unlike nowadays, where we've seen a lot of that. So I don't know, maybe it was a bad thing, I don't know. I was not a fan of it anyway. But as it were, if this upbringing, you know, nurturing could start from home, then teachers would not be the only mentors there available there, because as I've also said, sometimes the teachers, their hands are limited. Actually, I think like in Kenya right now, I don't know what forms of punishment are there in the 844 system. I don't know. The last time I checked, I don't know what sorts of punishments were there. I can't remember, but corporal punishment had just been abolished. And so students were even so happy, you know. So what could you tell them? But I see in these other systems, the British one, I see like maybe the other forms of punishment, like suspension. Suspension and detention, things like that. But you find like if this is a student who does not like school, that's a plus on their end. That's a plus. So you've not helped them at the end of the day. So a huge part of this honestly should just come from home. So that when these kids now are being brought to school to the teachers are simply going to be reinforcing that which has already been inculcated from home.
But do you agree with me that there are homes where, you know, the parent is doing the most, you know, they're there for the kid, you know, they're doing the most as a parent, but the child does, you know, just goes another direction, a different direction from what the parent is saying. So we've seen like, you know, I you know, when I was young, most of the time I was with my grandmother. And there's one mantra that, you know, has taken me through life that I got from my grandmother. And not from anybody else. So what my grandmother did is she used to go to church and fellowships all the time. So when she would go, I would not want to remain alone, and I'd gone to visit her. So we would go with her. When the fellowships were coming there, I didn't want to be away from her, so I would be part of this fellowship. So one time she told me that if I can't go to all fellowships unless I get born again. So if I get born again, we'll be going to even far off fellowship. So I got born again. I received Christ. I repented in public. I was 7 years old. So after that, she told me, once you're born again, you don't do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when what she told me about, you know, people who are born again do not do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The thing she told me about, you know, even sexuality. You don't just, you know, you allow anybody to touch you. You don't even sit on your ankle now. You can't just sit on your ankle and allow them to touch you. You don't just laugh around with men because you're now born again. You see, what she taught me at that point took me all through. Even when I was in university, I still had those, you know, values. I would tell people and they're like, you are believing what the grandmother said. But it was so inside of me. I could not get it
sunk in.
Even right now, I'm still of age, but I'm still, you know, living under that mantra because I don't want to do 1, 2, 3 because people who are born again do not do 1, 2, 3. So I still agree with you that this has to start from the parent. The parent who is, you know, when you give birth to the child and you nurture them and they start to speak and you realize, oh, now they can understand things, that is the point that you start with them. When they ask you what is this, you tell them, no, this one you're not supposed to touch because you are this person. Let the child know this is who you are, and you cannot do this and this. So the values has to be inculcated in the child from the parent, from home.
Might not be from the parent.
So it is true.
From home.
It is true. If the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and now when he's of age, he will not depart from it. So it means that is the work of, you know, the family, where the child is growing up in. That is where the child needs to get these values, so that by the time I was going to class 1, I knew I'm born again. I'm not supposed to abuse people. So when I went to school, people were abusing each other. I'm like, so I'm the only person who's born again in this class. You know, I just knew, no, me, I'm not doing that because I'm born again. You know, so as much as, you know, people are trying to divert away from the fact that the the family, if the family is broken, the child is broken.
The child is broken.
So as much as people are blaming, everybody around, the family is, is a place where everything starts. Because one thing, we were talking about mentors being there, and we have mentors everywhere. We have mentors in school. You go to primary school, the mentor is there. You go to high school, the mentor is there. You go to the university, the mentors are there. You go to the workplace, the mentors are there. But we've seen, it is not about the teenage pregnancy only. There are people, even when they just get the first job and they're pregnant with the boss. They just go to the university and they're pregnant with the lecturer. They go to high school and they're pregnant with the lab technician. So where did things go wrong? From the family. From the family. Yes. So it is true that there are mentors and there are people who are not. And that is how the world is moving anyway. So as much as, people have been blaming the teenagers so much, but there are people to be blamed.
There are people to be blamed.
The family need to be blamed. But there are a lot of things like, finances that, have broken marriages. Marriages are broken. So we have to agree that, the direction that the world is moving is how things are going to be.
Is how things are going to be.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to this point where, even at that young age, as a child, as a teenager, you also need to, kind of just also try to understand yourself. What do you want? What do you want? The home may be dysfunctional, all right, but what do I want?
Yes.
How do I see myself in a couple of years to come? What do I want to achieve? So that it's not also just about blaming people. Because at the end of the day, as you're saying, if you end up becoming pregnant, you're not yet through with high school, for example, and you see, you will not go and blame your dysfunctional family. Probably your mother, who's divorced from your father, has her own problem somewhere there, but now you're here left with the burden of taking care of this child. Maybe the dad is not also
is young, you cannot even help you. So at the end of the day, you're left here suffering. Yet if you could have weighed things out and said that, okay, fine, before I involve myself with this guy, what will be the outcome? But okay, I was also in agreement with you before we started shooting. But now the way we've talked about the parent. The parent has to be there for you, because you remember Science talking about when a child comes into the world, they come with an empty mind. So it is you, the parent, that has to fill that mind. The environment has to fill that mind. So everything that the child knows, the child has been taught by the environment.
But so remember, we've also said it's not a guarantee. It's not a guarantee. That's why I'm saying that, as a teenager, also look beyond. What if these people are not there? Because we've seen
I can't have that mindset if someone did put it.
It's not a guarantee that you will get yourself in a family where everything is working fine. There are families which are totally dysfunctional. What happens? Are you just going to allow yourself that, okay, fine, it's a pity party, my dad divorced from my mom, there's nobody. Actually, sometimes you're even there like the parent. So are you just gonna let things go like that? So
you see, most of the time you find that you can have that mindset of a pity party and blame game until you find someone else who is coming to to change your mindset. So it means the mind has to be, you have to learn and unlearn all the time, and you can't do it on your own. That is where people read, people listen to, because the mind is fed.
The mind is fed.
It is fed. It is you are not born knowing this. Because you see, I've been looking at this this way. Kids have been having mentors. The teachers who are, some of these teenagers that are pregnant have been impregnated by teachers. They are teenagers who have been impregnated by parents. If your mother, their own parents. If your mother is married to another man, this other man is not your biological father. They can sleep with you and make you pregnant. These kids have been impregnated by priests.
Oh yeah.
Yes. these kids have been impregnated by, you know, lecturers,
people they were looking up to.
Yes, yes. And you know, the first point a child is attracted to you, you know, they're just attracted to you. You know, you see, there's a cousin of mine who was telling me that when she was 9 years old, there's a neighbor who was a man who took her to watch a movie, and the mother allowed her because she grew up in a single, you know, the mother was a single mother, so the mother allowed her to go with this guy to watch movie. And she says when they were watching movie, and she was 9 years old, and 9 years old only knows that chum is on the lips, but this guy kissed her so deeply with the tongue and all that, but she didn't understand what was happening. And then over time she felt like she was so attached to this guy. He wanted, let's go more of the movies. You know, you don't understand your body, you are young. You don't know that, you know, someone has already ignited, you know, the feelings inside of you. You're just moving with the current. You don't know. So it is true that, you know, the people that we look up to, they introduce us to things that we don't know. So you can find that the teenager just liked someone because they feel at home with you, and you took advantage of them. So as much as people continue to blame the teenagers, there are people who are supposed to be mentors who are not.
Who are not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yes, but at the same time, I don't want to blame these people. I want to blame the person who took care of this child when this child was young. Because for me, I passed through all those. I was assaulted sexually by a relative, by my uncle. When I was so young, I didn't have strength to, you know, to push him away. But I had threats. I had my words. I told him, I'm born again. I will tell my grandmother. He told me not to do this. I'm sinning against God. And my uncle left me. You know, these are things that I was fed by my grandmother. When I was in campus also, I was almost being sexually assaulted by the lecturer. He had closed the door. He had closed the windows, and he was ready to sleep with me. Even if I will scream, nobody will hear. You know, the thought of me being born again, I'm not to do which I was fed by my grandmother. That is what pushed me to find something and you know break the window, and people who were around looked to find out what was happening, and he let me go. And even at the workplace, you find that you know, your boss calls you in the office and they want to sexually assault you. You say no, not because you are stronger than those people who fall for it, but because someone fed that mindset inside of you that is not what you're supposed to do. So there's someone to blame.
There's somebody to blame at the end of the day.
Yes.
At the end of the day. And also, you see now the way you're saying, I think the youth also need to come to this place of realizing that to a huge extent, sadly, you may have to find yourself in a place where you're on your own. And you have to fight for yourself.
Yes. Now that one. Now when you're of age, now we are talking to.
You've also said that, you know, at that tender age when your uncle wanted to assault you, you had the threats. You know,
I had the threats. These were words of my grandmother.
Oh, from your grandmother. They were not
mine. I didn't even know why I was saying them.
Okay, fine.
And why did I know that what he was trying to do was wrong? Because I was told. But this my cousin says she was kissed so deeply, but she didn't understand. Because she's used to the chum chum. Now she was like, no, what is happening? But it was in a movie theater, and she was like, okay. So we have realized that there are people to blame, and the person to blame is symbolic. When the child is born and you hold a child in your hands like this, it is what it says is you now have a responsibility. But now the problem is, you know, God gives responsibility to teenagers. People who still are under people's responsibility.
Under people's responsibilities.
So the broken home has made people broken. So I think the people we need to speak to are the teenagers who are now at a point that they have access to the internet, they have access to information, and now they can unlearn.
They can unlearn.
They have gone through the broken marriages. They have realized, oh, there's nobody to trust. There's no mentor actually. There's nobody to speak up to. I'm now on my own.
I'm on my own.
I'm
on my own. Come rain, come shine. I have to make it.
I have to decide what direction I want to go. So as much as yes, you're pregnant, you've got one child already, but now you're saying, I'm not going that direction again. Now what is the way forward?
What is the way
the
forward?
way forward is to stand for yourself.
Fight for yourself.
Fight for yourself.
Yeah.
Just learn, read in books, watch interviews, find feed your mind with people's values. Find what you need to feed your mind with. The things you watch, the things you read will unlearn what you have learned before. Will feed you with a different mindset, so that you don't suffer because of some other people's
mistakes.
Mistakes. You don't suffer because your parent was not available. Nobody will listen to those excuses. Nobody will understand you at the workplace because of those excuses.
At the end of the day, it will be you going through that all alone.
If you give birth to this child, you are now a single parent. You are 17 years old or 16. that other small boy is still loved with the family. He has no evidence of a child. he still has his, he wants to go this direction, he will go that direction. He can still achieve his dreams. So now it is a time for, if you are a lady, stand for yourself. Whatever age you are, if you have the information, this is the values that you need to have right now. There are no mentors, alright. There are people who do not care about you, they care about their sexual gratification, alright. But what direction do you want to go with your life? Yes. Things did not happen well in your life, alright. But now, what direction do you want to go?
Take? Yes.
Your father died, you don't have, you didn't get father love and all that. Are you going to get this father love from a teacher who is going to impregnate you in school? Are you going to get this father love from a priest who is going to impregnate you in church? No. You have to stand for yourself. No, this is my body. This is the temple of the Holy Spirit. I want to go to school. I want to get my papers. I have to have a future. Me, I'm going to do that for myself. Not for my mother, not for anybody, for myself. Yes, so that is the solution. The solution is doing things for yourself. We know, we are not refusing that the mother and the father need to be there. But now that the world is not perfect the way that we want, it is time for you to just step aside and stand for yourself.
And stand for yourself.
Yes. So that you don't have to blame people. Blaming will not help you.
Will not help.
You're not going to change the way the world is moving, because the Bible is fulfilling itself.
It's the end time. So
it is the end time.
Expect things to become
worse and worse. Yes. But how will we deal with it?
How will we deal with it?
Yes, true. So I think we tackled it well.
I think so.
So I don't know what the topic is going to be now. What is the solution to the teenage pregnancy, or what is the solution to the teenage struggles?
Well, so I think, as we've mentioned it anyway, so maybe just in summary, if the family is there, let the parents take charge. The buck stops with them. We also have families that I would not call dysfunctional, but we live in an era where, despite COVID and all that, where people are busy looking for money, people are chasing papers and all that. So parents don't even have time for their children. So let the family be functional. Let all these things start from home. Let the mentorship start from home. If in any case it's not within the home, sometimes whoever is next, your grandmother, your auntie, your uncle, is it your neighbor? Where can you get this mentorship from?
True.
And then, as we've said, if the worst comes to the worst, the world is also advanced. Read, get books. I believe that even in schools of late, there are even clubs. There are clubs where you even get empowered and all that. So I think, to that extent, the Kenyan government must have done a lot regarding that. So there are clubs for students where they can do things and learn from each other. And I think there's even a course, or not a course. Is it what do we call it? A lesson, a topic on
sexuality.
I think there's something like that. I remember teaching something on that. So those are things that, you know, can also help the youth now to be resilient out there. And so if the worst comes to the worst, you teenager, you youth, stand up, fight for yourself.
Fight for yourself. You're on your own.
You're on your own.
Yes.
Or you may be on your own.
True.
Yeah.
Otherwise I think we are done up to that point. Okay. So guys, God bless you so much. I hope you've been informed. If you have another teenager that needs to watch this is a very quality video. I've wanted to watch this video when I was a teenager. Thank God my grandmother was there to tell me all this. But if you didn't have a grandmother like mine, this is your time to change your mindset. This is your time to stand on your own. This is your time to channel your own path. The path that you want to go, the way you want your life to be. And that is what we are campaigning for, that everybody has a future, everybody has a life, and that life they can make for themselves with the help of God. Yes.